Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, greetings, beautiful people. Welcome back to High Performers. It's been a while since you and I engaged, since you and I, been together, speaking everything high performance. Just to remind you, high performers, this is the theater of excellence. This is a place where we inspire each other and educate each other about the matters of high performance. How can we get that level of excellence out of you? The type of excellence that will make you stand out. The type of excellence that will get you to a point whereby you won't be ignored. I know that it's been a while since we spoke, but we are really back, and I'm very, very much happy to be back, and also grateful for the support that you have shown us in the past years since we have started High Performance. So you're going to be seeing us more frequently now. We're going to be talking together each and every single week. So the idea is that we will have an episode coming out every Tuesday. And every Tuesday, then we will have a video out on a couple of topics and subjects that will interest you. And then please don't be shy. Just drop a comment if there are certain things that you'd like us to unpack together. Because I believe we are doing this for you more than we are doing it for ourselves. So it will be great that you leave ideas of topics that you believe will be of empirical importance, like to your lives. So just to start us off, today what I want to talk about, it is something that is very close to my heart. And it's close to my heart in the sense that the reasons why I excelled in the things that I excelled in, or the reasons why I did not excel in the things that I wanted to excel in, were actually anchored on this thing that I want to talk about today. And the thing that I want to talk about is the cost of not dreaming big. What does it cost us when we don't dream big? When you just set goals that look achievable, but they're not to an extent at which they challenge you to become the bigger person that you are actually born to become. What is the cost of that, of not dreaming big? Because there's a cost that you pay. What you have to realize or remember, it is that there's always a cost to pay. You don't choose not to pay. You choose what cost you want to pay. So do you want to choose to pay the cost of not dreaming big? Or do you want to choose the cost of actually dreaming big and doing all that is required to actually get you to that level? And then there are a couple of things that I would like to mention. And then I'll use like 5 points that I would like us to talk from. And the first point that I would like us to talk from is the point of what it costs you, which is the thing of growth. When you do not dream big, you compromise the growth that come with the goals that you would have set. One of the important things that I believe we need to take note of, it is the fact that the dreams that we set for ourselves, or the goals that we set for ourselves, they bring out of us the people who are equivalents or equals of those specific dreams. So in other words, then, the big dream that you have requires a big person inside of you to be the one who will attain them. Then if you do not set big goals and big dreams, what happens is that you compromise the potential growth you will have on your personal growth, and also that of becoming an equal of that specific goal that you would have set for yourself. So not dreaming big, it compromises that level of growth. What you have to understand is that, so I would like to build it like this. There are certain qualities that you can only get when you have certain kind of challenges and pressures in life. And the certain pressures in life and challenges, you can only get them when you are pursuing certain type of goals, or when you have certain type of targets in life. And then the goal that you set obviously helps you to set that specific target. And then that target, as you set the target, what happens now is that there are qualities you need to develop. Otherwise, you won't achieve that specific target. Okay. A lot of people, they don't understand why they need to be disciplined at certain instances. They don't understand why they need to be committed. They don't understand why they should not lazy around and then build the qualities that require them to become high performers. They don't understand any of those things. But the thing that will help them to actually see the reasons why they should struggle the way they would struggle, and then find ways in which they can stretch and challenge themselves. The only thing that can help them do that is when they have set audacious, bold dreams and goals for themselves. So it costs you a lot when you don't dream big. It costs you that amount of growth. So that's the first thing that I wanted to make. Because here's the thing, guys. The goal that you set or the dream that you have necessitates the growth required to acquire it. I'm going to repeat that. The goal that you set or the dream that you have necessitates the growth required to acquire it. So meaning that there is a certain level of growth that is required to achieve certain kind of goals. So when those goals are not set, then that growth does not become necessary. It does not become a necessity. So that is why I say that the goals that you set, they necessitate the growth required to acquire it. And then I think it's also, like I said, it's also important to remember that certain qualities can only come out of us when we are challenged in a particular way. And we can only be challenged in that particular way if we have goals and targets that are synchronous to that specific quality that is required to attain that specific thing. So that's the first one that I mentioned, growth.
So what would be an example of what you're speaking of? What would be an example of a loss in terms of growth because of not setting big enough goals?
Yes, 100%. So thank you so much, like, for that question of what would be the like an example of that. And I think the best example that I can give is the example that I went through myself. So I remember I worked for this company, and then when I went for this company, the lady who was in recruitment from my previous company, she was like, "Okay, you are in. I think I was in about 12K or so," and then she's like, "This job that you are going for is about 25K, and it'll be almost impossible for me to get your salary, like to bump it up to more than 100% of what you are earning. So, but what the best I can do is like 50% of it." So that they can give you, from your 12K, they can give you like a 15 or a 16K. And then I was like, okay, it's fine, let's go. Then after I was hired by that company, what happened is that I spoke with the person who hired me, the manager at the time. And I'm like, man, look, I know that this thing is advertised for 25K and I'm on 12, and then my recruiter negotiated like a 15 or a 16. Here's my deal. Give me one project that you've been struggling with. This is me setting an audacious goal. Give me a project that you've been struggling with that has good value for the business. And it's like, okay, there's this project we've been working on for 2 years. We have not gotten it right. We got a service provider to do it. If you can do it, then we can talk after that. I'm like, okay, if you've been struggling with it for 2 years, I can do it in 3 months. If I do it in 3 months, will you be able to give me my 25K if you don't increase my salary now? So in 3 months, I don't mind to earn the very same 12K that I come with from my previous company. But can you and I strike a deal and say that if I achieve this thing in less than 3 months or in 3 months, will you give me that 25K? And he said, game on. Then what happened now after that? Within 2 months, I managed to get that project right. And then think about it. This is a project that needed me to do things I've never done before, to learn skills I've never learned before. So which means had I not set that audacious goal of wanting that 25K, I would not have learned the technical skills and the tools that I learned to actually get this project done. And then as a result, then the guy, because I did it in 2 months, he was like, anyway, no more 25K. Now I'm going to pump it to 30K. He just did like that because he was just surprised. How did I get it there? And then what I got out of there is that there were certain strengths that I had I never knew that I had. Number one is that I did not know that I was that resilient. I did not know that I had that fortified mind to actually stick to something and then do it in a record time. And then I did not know that when I push myself, I can actually be committed enough to deliver things timelessly. And these are the things that I did not know because I was not stretched in that sense where I used to come from. So then as a result, then I would have lost on the growth of learning new skills that I learned that got me to finish that job. I would not have learned certain qualities that I had, like resilience, as I mentioned, things such as having like a fortified mind, being strong enough to struggle and struggle and struggle, even though I don't understand those things, but putting myself under that pressure to know something that I did not know then. Had that not been the case, I would not have learned those things. So that is one of the clear examples that I can give of the loss. So now I managed to get more opportunities as a result of the skills that I got from the project. Had that not been the case, then I would not have learned those specific things.
What is the importance of time when it comes to setting goals? So you spoke about the project that you had 3 months to deliver, you did it in 2. What is, because obviously if you set a goal quite big, you tend to
Stretch the
stretch the time, and then procrastination comes in, and obviously that can lead you to failure. What's the importance of
having like a proper time planning.
time?
So the importance of time in that is that it helps you to delineate the things that should be done and the ones that should not be done, because of without you having proper boundaries of what to do first and what to do last, what can you live with or without when you are doing it, like when you're working on a specific project. That is very important, because there are certain things they waste our time, but they're not the things that are contributing the most into the project that we'll be working on. So you'll find out that we waste 80% of the time on the 20% contribution items. The items that contribute only 20% to the project, we spend 80% of the time doing them. And then that is time wasting. So planning your time is very key. But most importantly, more than planning the time, what I think is also key, it is that you need to understand this idea of psychological bandwidth. There is a space that you need in your mind to actually have the room to think creatively, to work on difficult tasks. And then we compromise that by not planning our time wisely. By planning our time wisely, I mean that know when you are the most effective. It's very important for you to know that from 8 o'clock in the morning until 11, I'm at my best. Then as a result, then that's the time you allocate to the things that are important, to the important tasks. And then if you don't do that, so that's more of energy management than time management. So energy management and time management, they go, hand in hand, like in that sense, because you might be sitting on a desk for 10 hours doing nothing or doing so much unproductive work, and you don't want that. So time is very, very crucial, like in that. And then another thing to add on that is that if you don't plan well from a time perspective, it is that you will get discouraged of what you are doing, because of as you are not yielding the results that you want, you get discouraged of the work itself. You're like, why am I doing this? Because I'm not seeing the results. Only to find out that you did not plan the important tasks correctly. So yeah, so that thing of time is like, it's really big. And thanks for those questions anyway, guys. Like, I really appreciate it. So I think the questions, they actually help our audience as well. They get to draw more out of what we are delivering to them today. So those questions, please keep them coming, because I might not be able to see some of the angles that will add value to what we are talking about today. So thanks for those questions, guys. So moving forward, I was naming a couple of things, and I said there are 5 things I want to talk about. The second one I want to talk about is a little bit strange. It's a thing of, if you don't dream big, you might lose out on the magic and the mystery of life. By the magic and the mystery of life, it is that there are certain things, guys, and I've learned this with so many things that I've done in my life. It is that many a times when you push yourself to the limits, and when you resolve that I'm not going to do anything less than my best, it will always be my best. What happens is that there are certain mysteries and magic that is trapped within that honest effort of wanting to give your best. You end up even getting results that are bigger than the ones that you have anticipated. You end up getting clients if you are in business, or you end up getting favors or applauds from people that you're working with, things that you did not even like look out for. You end up getting certain calls that you did not anticipate that you're gonna get. You end up talking to people that you never thought in your wildest dreams that you will actually be speaking with. You end up being in certain rooms that you never thought you'd be part of, simply because you decided to dream big. Because when you dream big, what happens is that you like from an energy perspective, it's like you are vibrating at a frequency that is in alignment with people who are on that level already. That's where the mysteries and the magic of life comes out from. So if you don't dream big, you lose out on that specific magic. And then one of the examples like that I can give about that, I remember this other time I was giving a speech at this hall. It was a community, like a small community. And then the lady who was organizing the event said, please, Michael, can please come and help us and then be our guest speaker on the panel. Then I did that. There were very few people in that audience. But I was wearing my tie, I was wearing my suit. And then when I look at it, there's like a 10-year-old, 5-year-old, a 6-year-old kid as well. And then some few old elderly women like in the crowd. And I'm like, and I'm all dressed up for them. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to give my best. I'm going to throw my whole self into this and make sure I deliver a killer speech possible. And that is exactly what I did. Little did I know, in the crowd, there was someone who works for one of the major news channels in our country. And that person, he does not do an important job there. I think he was a janitor or something. But as he was at work, and then he spoke to one of the producers, like, yo, this weekend, this guy came, he said this, he said this, he said this, he said this. That's when I got my first national television gig, because I spoke and I gave my best in there. And that's the magic and the mysteries that I'm talking about. Had I went there and said, I'm talking to 10-year-old kids and then elderly citizens in here, I'm just going to greet them and sit down. Had I done that, that gentleman would not have noticed that I have like that impeccable value to leave. And then I would not have gotten that first opportunity. And that first TV gig that I got so many TV gigs after that. I got so many radio gigs after that. And that was a result of me showing up, like with nothing less than my best, making sure that I do my 100 on that day. So if you don't dream big, guys, you will actually lose out on that magic. You do not know what is waiting on the other side of you actually giving your best. It's like that same thing on the Bible. Like one of my favorite stories, I tell this story all the time. If you heard me saying it before, I apologize, but it's my favorite story. It's the story of Joseph. Joseph, the guy who was sold by his brothers, right? In prison, we are told that Joseph was interpreting a dream for a cupbearer, the guy who used to hold the cup for the king. As he was doing that, then the cupbearer was happy with the interpretation of the dream. And again, there was a baker as well in prison as well, who Joseph interpreted the dream as well. Then he was happy. Here's the thing. Here's the magic that happened. The magic that happened is that the most important person on the land, meaning the king himself, King Pharaoh, he had a dream, but he did not know what it meant. And what happened is that the cupbearer, if not the baker, I'll remember very well, I think it was the cupbearer. The cupbearer, as he was retained to his own old position of being a cupbearer of the king, he then told the king, he said, "No, what, king, there's this Hebrew boy by the name of Joseph. He has this gift of being able to interpret dreams." Imagine if Joseph said, "You are a cupbearer, you are here in prison with me, we are both inmates, you don't matter." What could have happened? It means the cupbearer would not have known that this young Hebrew boy named Joseph has the gift of interpreting dreams, of which he told the king. And the king was like, "Bring him here," and then the rest was history. Joseph was so important to Egypt that the king himself, he said that, I I'm more important man than you only because of the respect that I have to this throne. Had it not been that, you'll be number one of like in this land. That's how big Joseph was. He said, it's due to the respect I have to this throne that I'm a bigger man than you. Because he did not go like, you're a cupbearer, you are a baker. I don't interpret dreams for small people. He showed his 100. So that's the mysteries I'm talking about. Those are the magics of life that I'm talking about. So you do not know that job that you're working at now. You just showing up and saying that, as soon as I'm clocking in, I'm clocking out, this is not my father's company. You see, that attitude is going to rob you of the magic and the mysteries that life has. Just show your 100. You are there anyway. Why do you want to show halfway? Why do you want to apply yourself halfway? You are there anyway. You are spending half of your day there anyway. Why would you want to spend half of your day doing less than what you are actually capable of? The mysteries of life and the magic of life will be robbed if you do not show up that way, or if you do not dream big. That is the cost of you not dreaming big. If you dream big, you understand that this is how I'm gonna show up. This is my brand. This is who I am. I'm the guy who's known for bringing his 100 all the time. And if you do that, there are certain mysteries and magic that is hidden within that specific genuine effort. So that was my second one, right? To say that it will rob you of the magic of life. And I'm going to go to the third one. The third one that I want to talk about is very important, guys. It's very, very important. Is the thing of social capital. It will rob you of social capital. There are certain people who don't want to associate themselves with people who are doing things halfway. There are certain people who don't want to associate themselves with mediocre people. They're just like that. They will tell you that if it smells and moves and sounds mediocre, I don't touch it. And then it's like that. They won't do business with you because we are mediocre. They won't do business with you because when you enter a space, you don't enter that space with the view that you want to make it 10 times better than you found it. And they just don't want to mix themselves with you. So you will lose out on a very important social capital. And by social capital, we simply mean your networks, right? The people that you network with. People who will mention your name in rooms that you can't be in. But because you are a person who dreams big, by ensuring that they bring their 100 each and every single time, they push themselves each and every single time, that person would want to associate themselves with you. They want to let other people know that they do know you. You know, somebody once said that it doesn't matter who you know, what matters is who knows you. There are certain people that, you know, they know you and they want to let the world know that they know you because of you are dreaming big. And you lose out on that social capital. Imagine in that company that you're working for, and then all you are known for is that you are the one who goes to the coffee machine more than everyone. You are the one, when there are complaints, you are the one who complains the most. When there is something that is not going well, like in the company, you are the one who complains the most. You're the one who always says that this coffee is not the best. You know, why don't they get Starbucks here or something like that? There are people who are like that, who will complain about coffee. They say, no, we don't want this brand, we want that brand, it's not nice. We want decaffeinated, what. If you are known for those things, do you think important people in that business will actually go out of their way, mention your name in networks that are important to them? Obviously not. Do you think even your colleagues as well, the ones that you're gossiping with, do you think they're going to go and say, this guy is the best in what he does? Of course not. Because they know that you and them are playing for the same club, the same team of mediocrity. So you don't want to show up like that. So you want to be a person who says that this is who I am, this is how I am going to show up, and then so that you can build a very good social capital. You have no idea how far you can go with somebody, just one person mentioning your name in a place that is very important. So I don't want you to lose out on that social capital. So dream big. Dream big. And when I say dream big, what I want you to understand, it is that I don't say that you must go and then decide to be the president of the country tomorrow. No. Obviously, dream big is in alignment with the things that are important to you. The contribution you want to make in the world, you must make sure that you don't want to make just a contribution. You want to make an impeccable contribution, the one that won't be forgotten. Because of this high performance, guys, remember, we are here in high performance. In high performance, we are talking about how do we play in a manner that we won't be ignored. There is a certain level of excellence that will just not be ignored. I remember in South Africa, we had this song. I'm saying in South Africa because of we are international, guys. So this is going international. So so we had this song. It was called Jerusalem. I remember the song. Yes. I remember this song in South Africa. It did not win any summer awards. It did not win any local, like nothing, zero. I want to talk about the level of excellence that can't be ignored. It won nothing. Then, before we knew it, the whole world, and by the whole world, I mean the whole world, Asia, Europe, everywhere in the world, they were dancing, they learned the dance, even in countries that can't even speak like English. People, they even so that song, so that the gentleman who made the song, I remember seeing his face on one of the billboards in Market, it's called Market Square. If your face is there, it doesn't have to be anywhere in the world. So after seeing that, I was like, this guy, they tried to ignore him, right? Or they didn't pay attention to what he did, but because of what he did was that excellent, it could not be ignored. So that's what I'm saying to you. Even there are gatekeepers in the spaces you play in. If you do your best, believe me, something will come out of it. I love this thing that I once read in the book called The Richest Man in Babylon. It said this: a job well done does good to the one who does it. A job well done does good to the person who does it. So if you do a good job, a great job, that job will do good for you. It does good to the one who does it. So that's the thing that I wanted you to remember. So we spoke about three things, right? The first one, just to remind you, we spoke about growth. It will, if you don't dream big, you'll compromise the growth that comes with you dreaming that big. The second one, you'll compromise the magic or the mysteries that you will get or that emanates from you applying yourself at that level of excellence. The third one is your social capital, which I just finished talking about. The fourth thing I want to talk about is the long-term perspective on how you live your life. The long-term perspective on how you live your life. Most things are temporary. Most things are very temporary. The pressures you find yourself in are temporary. The struggles you find yourself in are temporary. And then the things that you need to learn, the hardships that you need to go through, the training period, the preparation period, it's hard. Guys, I cannot even romanticize this. It's hard. It's hard for you to be a businessman and then knowing that at least for the next coming 3 months, there wouldn't be salaries coming in or there wouldn't be monies coming in, but you know that you are in it for a long haul. But if you don't dream big, you don't have that long-term perspective. And then that long-term perspective is the one that helps you make sense of the struggles and the challenges that you have to face. Because there's nothing nice about struggling. There's nothing nice about it. The struggle itself, there's nothing nice about it. But if you have a long-term perspective of why you're doing what you're doing, and dreaming big normally it's about dreams that take some time to actually manifest. And then if they take some time to manifest, and then if they are big, then what happens now is that you will have a proper long-term perspective on your life. You'll understand that certain things that you're going through are very temporary. And which means now it leads me to a point that if you do not have a long-term view, then giving up is easy. So in other words, then if you look at some of the things or most of the things that you gave up on today, there's a likelihood that your long-term view of it was affected. So there was no long-term view that was very clear. So the clarity on the actual vision why you were doing the things that you were doing was actually affected. And then as a result, then you ended up giving up. So you are prone to giving up on your dreams when you don't dream big, because if you don't dream big, then you lose out on the long-term perspective of why you're doing what you are doing. And if you lose out on the long-term perspective, then the motive for why you should struggle won't be there. So remember that was the fourth point I wanted to make: long-term perspective on why you're doing what you're doing. So giving you an example with, actually I think it's good that we give an example with what we're doing with High Performance Show. High Performance Show started in 2021. All right, so we are now in 2024, which means we are 3 years in, right? We started, we were fired up doing our thing, and then we stopped. And then we started again, we stopped. And then it's good that we're making, I'm vulnerable enough to talk about this because of this is our show, but we stopped. Because somehow, our long-term perspective was tempered with. And how was it tempered with? We downplayed the impact that it will make to the world when we get it right. Because we know that high performance, once we get it right the way we want to get it, once the messages that we are teaching and then talking to the people about, once the events and the things that come on and all the services that come with the entire high performance network, once we get them right, we know the difference that it will make to the world. And we just can't wait to see that happen. Because of now, we are married to that. And we're like, we have a long-term perspective of why we're doing what we're doing. And we're going to do it. Because we know that there is that one person who will listen, who's like, I was on the verge of giving up, but Tshepo Tabane, I listened to you, man, on that High Performance Show when you're talking about the cost of dreaming big. I'm going back to my list. I'm going to refine it. I'm going to go back to dreaming big. You'll never know. That can be like the next Kobe Bryant. That can be the next MJ. That can be the next Michael Jackson. That can be the next whoever who's big. And then as a result of what we are doing here. So having that long-term perspective is the thing that will actually get you to do what is necessary. Trust me, waking up every morning, coming up here and standing in front of the camera, looking at people that I don't like to look at like the whole day, it's not a nice thing. It's not a nice thing. I love my team, but I don't there are better places that I can be at. I can't look at my camera guy every day. So it's not nice. It's not a thing that I'll say that like we enjoy in that sense. We enjoy the process of creating value for the people who are blessing us with their attention. Yes, we do. Right? But the actual work itself, but the actual waking up and whatnot, it is not always the nicest thing. But because we have a long-term perspective of why you are doing this, then we do it. So that's where the dreaming big thing comes to play. That's how we are dreaming big, because we are aware of the lives that we are going to change. And then the last point I want to make in this cost of not dreaming big, it's actually something that I mentioned when I was explaining the last point. I wanted to say that, if you don't dream big, you will lose out on the colossal impact that you're going to make or contribution you're going to make to the world. You lose out on that. Because of your dreaming big, it is actually a solution to so many people. There are many problems that we have in the world, guys. So many problems. You'll find out that you dreaming big, it's you creating as many jobs as possible. Or you dream big is you inspiring someone who has, the medical capability, the medical science capabilities to actually come up with a vaccine or some, or cure some ailment of some sort. You just never know. What we know for a fact is that playing small won't move people the way playing big will move them. Playing small does not move people. Some people, they just get inspired by your drive. They're like, we don't know exactly what this guy is doing, but this guy's driven. And it gets them to want to do that as well. So those were the 4 points that I wanted to talk on. 5 points, that I wanted to talk on. Just to recap, the first one is growth. Don't compromise the growth that comes with you dreaming big. The second one the magic that you will get out of life and the mysteries that you will actually birth out of your genuine effort of being an excellent performer or high performer. The third one is the social capital. You are losing out on so many people that you should be meeting now. Your name should be mentioned as we speak now. As I'm speaking now, there should be someone somewhere saying that I know this guy. I can bet on him. The fourth one, long-term perspective of how you want to live your life or how you want your life to turn out. We don't want you to lose out on that. And then the last one is the colossal impact of your contribution to the world. You don't want to lose out on that impact that you want to make to the world. So from me, MT Tabane from High Performers, thank you so much. I hope that was value for you. Most importantly, guys, on the comment section, comment, ask questions. Believe me, we will make time to attend those questions, and then we will text you the answers, and then leave other suggestions of topics that you'd like us to speak about. We are more about bringing value to you than we are about saying things that excites us. We are more about bringing value to you, and I'm very much excited to be back and to be engaging with you. This was fun for me. I hope it was fun for you. And then until we see each other again, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. The links are somewhere down here, and then just follow those links and make sure that you follow us on the socials that will be appearing down here or up there. But I think it's down here. So, but thank you so much. From me, MT Tabane, signing out from High Performers. Cheers.